The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Hi everybody, my name is Chris. I'll be walking you through today of how to create any business app in under 20 minutes. So at the end here, I'll be happy to answer any questions. Feel free to put them in, as they come up. So first of all, our editor is very simple to use. You can go in and create as many apps as you need. Only pay for the ones you use. So you can easily start creating an app by clicking Create an App on the top here, and we're going to go through Express mode today. We can certainly, address any questions related to Guru mode towards the end of the session here. So firstly, you would want to start Express mode. We have a couple hundred different ready-to-run templates that you can choose from. You can easily view all the templates, which we have many industries covered here, from charity to construction, food inspection, golf clubs, weddings. So it's a great starting point, to go through these and see if there's anything, relevant to what you're looking for. So here, I'm going to go ahead and actually skip the template for the sake of just showing how to use the form editor itself. So I'll just pick the default. There's plenty of colors to choose from, different schemes, and you can customize that as well with custom colors. So first, when you get here to the Express editor, you can you see the buttons here. There's New Tab, New Form. So if you'd like to create a new tab, click New Tab, and here comes a list of suggested tabs and forms that you can choose from. You can search for specific items in the search bar, or you can just scroll through the suggested tabs, and they're also organized by type. So if you were looking for something relative to the automotive industry, for instance, you could easily just click automotive, and you'll see that there's truck inspection manager, excavator inspection, things like that, gas density calculator. We have numerous calculators and things available to customize your forms with. So I'm going to go back to the suggested tabs and forms here, and we're just going to go ahead and create a form. So we're going to add this tab. We added a form tab, which brings you to the form editor. And firstly, you'll see on the left here, there's a pretty comprehensive list of just different pre-built fields or basic fields that you can add. So I'll walk you through each of them briefly here. So text label is basically just a way of adding static text to your form. If you wanted to have like a certain message that comes out on the report every time. There's text number fields where user can input text or number information. You can choose a drop-down where the user can drop down and select from a list of predefined options. Paragraph, which is basically designed for entries, longer entries than the text number field. They function similarly, but if the user is going to be putting in a lot of text, you want to choose a paragraph. You can use a checkbox, which is basically just a simple Boolean yes or no answer. Radio buttons, which give you a multiple choice. Multi-line entry is actually a way of creating a form within a form. And if you take a look here, anytime you hover over any of these, it will give you a brief description of what it does. So it enables you to put a form within a form. Good for when you want to section off part of your form. So then if you get down here, you can add images and logos. You can create a name field, a gender field, address, email, phone number, links to your website, price, social security number, date and time, sign and draw, which will add a signature element, map GPS, which will capture location data. You can take a photo, so if the user interacts with this field, it would prompt them to take a photo with their device's camera. You can scan barcodes, QR codes, capture audio recordings, video recordings, have the user upload files from the device, or you can create a section break, which basically puts a line in between different sections of your form. So, and up here you can add new pages to the form. So just to start, we'll do something basic here, for instance, name. So this, you can see that this adds a name field, first, last, very simple stuff. So, you know, a lot of data capture will, you know, require a name. You can do, you know, address, which will, it's pre-built to have 2 lines of address information, city, state, zip code, country, etc. So we can add a gender field here, which is just a simple, you know, male or female selection, like a radio button. You know, take a photo. So it's very simple just to add these fields to the form, and if you'd like to organize them, you can just drag and drop them wherever you'd like them to be. So, so we're going to add a text number field, and I'm just going to show you how you can customize this field to display specific information that your users may want to see. So the title of the field is, you know, what it's going to say on the form itself. So we'll just put, you know, enter text here, and you'll see that it changes over here in the form editor. And under field name, this is how it shows up on the reporting. So if you wanted the reporting when it comes out as a, you know, a PDF document, for example, if you wanted it to say enter text here, you would just type enter text here and apply. And anytime you make any changes or, you know, create information in the app, I certainly recommend saving. And in terms of the tabs or, you know, the pages themselves, you can also name them. You can change the name of the title, page 1, for example. And here you have access to user types, so you can define who is going to have access to certain pages or elements within your app. So right now it defaults to all 4 user types, which are anonymous, logged in user, app reviewer, and app owner. So for instance, if you only wanted people who were logged in to be able to view the app, if you just uncheck the anonymous, only logged in users at that point would be able to view the app. You can change the type of reporting. We offer a few different options here. You can have it directly in the email body as a Word document, a spreadsheet, or a PDF. I find that PDF is typically the preferred format for the reports. You can specify the email address to which the data is sent when it's collected from the app. And you can also change what the subject line says prior to sending the email. So, so we're not really going to change anything here. I'm actually going to recheck anonymous just for the sake of keeping things simple for now. So let's see. So if we were to exit here, you can exit, and it'll automatically ask you every time if you want to save all your changes. You'll see this tab is actually now called page 1 just because you know, I try to keep it simple. I couldn't really think of anything specific to name it. So you'll see that it still says Untitled Form. So if you wanted to go back and edit the form, you can just click Edit Form and change the form name in this field here. It's all relatively simple. We just type sample form. And description of the form, I'll just write this form as a sample. And apply those changes, and when you exit, you'll see when it shows the mock-up of the app here, the data has changed in the viewing pane. Let's see. So I mean, That's the gist of being able to, create a custom form. I mean, if you, for instance, if you have a form that you use daily, you can even just take a look at, maybe a PDF document that you have. For instance, I'll see if I can find a decent example here. So here's a decent example of a form that one might use on a daily basis that could be easily converted into an app. So what I'm going to do here is just show you how quickly and easily you can move this information into your app. So I'm actually going to just create a new form this time for the sake of keeping it simple here. So if you look at the top, so this is a text label here because it's static text that will always display on the form. So if you were to even just copy and paste this information here, it's relatively simple. If you wanted that to go ahead and display at the top of the form, you just apply that, and then next you see there's a field for agency. So for that, I feel a text number field would probably be the best option. So we'll just go ahead and put agency. Now that will change the title here. If you want to display it properly in the reporting, it's important to name the field properly. And I don't typically use the placeholders. They certainly can be useful, but for the sake of this, I think it looks a little neater without it. And you see here, you can make the field either read-only or required. Since users will be putting in information, I would not recommend the read-only option, of course, but we can go ahead and make this a required field. And you see once you mark it as required, it'll be highlighted red here, indicating that that field must be filled out for the form to be submitted. And then we just have a few other fields that are all kind of the same deal here. So for job number, inspection date, client name, what I'm going to do, I'm just going to go ahead and add 3 more text fields. And so title, inspection date. This will allow the user to enter in the date, or you could even actually, if they're going to be doing it at the specific time, that they're filling out the form, you can even, we'll do this instead, we'll add a date time field. And you can, again, drag and drop these anywhere within the form where you'd like them to be. So let's do this. You can set it to use current date and time as default. And you can go ahead and apply that. You can also make the fields hidden as well, or read-only for form editor. And we'll move on to the next one, client name. Oh, well, I apologize, I didn't rename this. Inspection date. All right. And I mean, that's the gist of it there. So let's see here. I'm just going to make this side a little bigger. And we've applied that, so you see that it says inspection date. Again, we can remove the placeholder as well. Next text field, client name. And let's see, well, address should be an address field, so we're actually going to, for now, just eliminate this one, and we'll add, so as you see, there's 2 choices here, owner or renter. For this situation, I would usually use a radio button, so that allows you to add multiple choices. And to keep adding choices, you can just hit the plus sign. Remove choices, of course, you would hit the minus sign. So we'll make one owner and the next renter. And as you'll see here, it reflects that information. We just need to change the title of the field. We could just do owner/renter. And so the next is the address field, so we can just find address here, add a address, so we can, if we'd like it to say physical address, you can certainly change that. And so that's all relatively simple here, and you can hit apply there and it'll change. And so the next is years of construction, so that'll be a text number field as well, which here for the data type you can select text or number. The difference is if you select number, it will actually on the device pull up the number pad instead of pulling up the whole keyboard. So if it's going to be something that's a number every time, it's good to choose the number field. It just makes it a little quicker and easier for the end user. So we'll just copy this and paste it over here. Let's see. So again, we have a yes, no. So for this, we could even use a checkbox. So we'll add a checkbox and change the name to pre-1978 home. And you'll see positive value true, negative value false. The label, of course, we would want to change so it displays the proper information here. Field name, that's how it displays on the reporting. Label is always going to be how it appears on the app. So we'll apply that, and I'm going to get rid of that colon there. And let's see, so we have another multiple choice here. So for this, we would use a radio button. And it also creates a new radio group. If they're in the same group, every time the user selects something, it's going to match for every line item in that group. So if they're to be independent of each other, it's good to make sure that they're not the same within the same group. So and we'll just change this to housing type. Sorry. And the group name doesn't really have to change here. So as you can see, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 options here. So we would need 5 buttons. And we could just copy text from here and paste it over on the other side. Mobile home. And apply that, and as you see here, users will be able to select from this list. And so the next is the primary fuel type. That'll be another radio button option. And we'll select primary fuel type. Change the title. And there's another few options here. So and we have natural gas, propane, electric, oil, solid fuel. Now we can add another one for other, so they can select other, and then we can add a text field up beneath that says, if other, explain. So we'll hit apply there, and we'll add a text number field and title that field. And we can apply that. And change the field name so it appears properly in the reporting. And So from there, I'm just going to actually go ahead and save this and show you how it looks on a device. Sorry, just bear with me here. I have to get the mobile device set up. So I'll go ahead and save these changes. And when you're done here, you can save the app and run on device. So it's going to prompt you, if you haven't already put in an app name, to name the app. And we're just going to put sample app. And from here, it'll tell you the app's been saved, and to see your changes, you can view the changes in the Snappy Preview app, which we have some links to download, and it also includes a link here. So if you've not downloaded the Snappy Preview app yet, please click here. And as you'll see, if you show the menu here, you can go to your account and view all of your apps that were made. So you can go My Account, My Apps. So we'll see the sample app here because it was saved to my account. Now, so I'm going to go ahead and mirror the screen. I got a device here, so I can just give you an idea. So as you see, I'm logged into the preview app here, where it shows my same list of apps that are displayed in my apps on the website. And we'll go into this sample app. And it allows you to log in, but I did not make any of these tabs the types of tabs that you have to be logged in to view. So it just makes it a little faster and easier for demonstrating purposes. If you have any questions about how to, set up permissions on the apps afterwards, I'd be happy to walk you through that. So as you'll see, it's the sample form we created, the first form that we did anyway, where I just kind of free-formed it. So we've got, enter text here, name. You can add a photo, which if you click add photo, it'll ask you to choose from library or take a photo with the device's camera. Address fields and select gender. Now the form here, that's the one we just created, so I didn't actually name the form or add a description, but you'll see it's got the same static text on the top, U.S. Department of Energy Weatherization Assistance Program, Quality Control Inspection Form. You'll see agency, which I made a required field, so you'll see that it's also highlighted in red on the device itself. There's inspection date, which defaults to today's date, which, if you recall, I did select that setting when adding that field. Client name, and we have, owner or renter, where it's the radio buttons, where you can select one or the other. Physical address, years of construction. So this is what I was talking about when you select it as a number field. It'll pop up the device's number pad versus the entire keyboard, which just makes it a little quicker for the user or employee when they're going to do that. So you can just submit there. Here's the yes or no. Is the home a pre-1978 home? So that's just a simple Boolean there. Checked is yes, unchecked is no. We can select housing types, site built, the things that we did here, and there's that last one that we did, the primary fuel type, natural gas, propane, electric, etc. If other, please explain. So I mean, it's a very simple process. It's it's designed to be quick and efficient, so people can get their apps up and running quickly and start saving money in their daily operations. And even just the accuracy of data itself is a great way to cut operating costs, things like that. A lot of companies lose money just by having processes that are outdated, taking too long, or even, like for construction, for instance, filling out worksheets on the job can be kind of difficult. Sometimes they get ruined or lost in, their commute back to the office. So this is a great way to eliminate that. Now, let's take a look here. All right. So far, does anybody have any questions or anything they'd like to discuss? Anything? I'm happy to go ahead and answer any questions that anyone may have. Let me check here. All right, so yeah, it looks great. So that's good news. Thank you, John. I appreciate that. Let's see. No. Let's see. Anybody type anything in the chat here? So, all right. Oh, there we go. All right. Sorry, I'm a little new to this GoToWebinar thing here. So, all right. So let's go. Let's just go down the list here. So first question, CompuMagic. Are we going to send out the recording to the participants later on? Absolutely. You will receive a recording of this. We can go ahead and email that to you once we've had a chance to process it. Might be tomorrow. We have a team that's going to handle that, so they're actually out of the office for the rest of the evening. Let's see. So can you change the look and feel of the forms, so the field background of the form? So that's a great question. So what I'll do here, I'm just going to get rid of that for a moment. So, so in the first part of this, I kind of skipped over the customization of the colors, etc. here, which, let's see. Let's actually use a template this time, and it'll give you a good idea of, you know, what an app that's been made to be visually appealing will look like. I'll try to find a decent template here. All right. So for instance, we'll go with the heavy equipment inspection app. So you'll see this is basically what the app looks like. This is what you're going to get in the template. So we'll just select and continue, and it's going to give me the option to change the colors, the backgrounds, things like that. Let's go with blue. Why not? Oh, sorry about that. And continue. So by selecting the color, that'll change the whole scheme. I know it was in kind of a more yellowish orange color scheme prior. So I apologize, it's taking a moment to load here. All right, so as you can see, the color scheme from the original template that I took has been changed to the blue that I selected. And you can actually, we'll do. So you can go through, you can see all the separate pages of these forms. So the layout is, it's pretty simple. You can also change icons, things like that. So if you go to this little settings wheel here, this is where you get the option to change the icon. So we have tons of industry-specific icons here and just some general ones. Let's take a look. I know it's not really relevant, but we'll just, for the sake of changing it, we'll do this magnifying glass for this excavator inspection icon. So, so we'll go ahead and do that. And if you hit OK, you'll see that it will change down the bottom here. You can also change this logo here. So this picture and this field, as you can see, is the picture. You can easily change that image. You can upload from your computer, specify a web page or an image URL. And from here, you can edit the form. You can also change the name of the tab and the title on the screen. And you'll see there's also settings for the saved inspections, which is just really more so the name of the inspections themselves here, or the button itself, I should say, that brings you to the saved inspections. So we're just going to click OK there. Now, I don't want to touch base on Guru too much because this webinar is mostly focused on quickly developing apps with the Express editor, but I do want to note that you can go back and forth between Express and Guru and make changes. Guru gives you more finite control over what you're doing. in the app, you can easily add things like, QR codes, which you can actually do in Express as well. There's not a whole lot different here, but you have more control over the layout. So Express is going to automatically align all of your elements on your page in a certain order. Here, you have the option to move and place things anywhere, which can be convenient. You can also, for instance, if you wanted an image in the background, which I think might have been part of your question there, you can highlight this element, and if you go to alignment up here, you can actually bring it to the front or send it to the back. So if it's sent to the back, it'll always stay behind all of the other elements. For instance, if you wanted this to take up the whole page, you can just change the width and height of this. And, well, I guess that's not quite the whole page, but you get the gist of it there. You can also, if you're working on aligning these yourself, you can actually snap them to a line here. You can add vertical or horizontal grid lines, and you can move this up and down. So if you want them all to move up to that line, well, not together, but align with the line, you can highlight them all, which a lot of typical keyboard shortcuts do work with the editor. If you wanted to select multiple items, for instance, if you hold Control and click on them, they'll be highlighted. And now, to snap them to that line, you can either snap them to the top of the line or to the bottom. The way they were highlighted, unfortunately, made them all move at once. But and you can go ahead and remove that. But from here, you can see that they were just laid on top of each other. Let's see. So I believe that, for the most part, answers that question there. And let's see. What else do we have here? Okay. So, CompuMagic. So why do they use radio buttons instead of checkboxes for the housing type in the form? Really, I find it's a easier method, because if you're using multiple checkboxes, then it gives them the option to select more than one. And in a situation like the housing type, where it's only going to be one out of that category, it just makes it easier for, the user can just select whichever one is relevant. And it's a little less work. It's a little quicker. So, I just feel like that's kind of the best bet. So I hope that answered that for you. I mean, it's really up to personal preference. If you want the app to operate a certain way, it's completely customizable for you. So, if you would like to use, for instance, checkboxes instead of radio buttons, we'd certainly encourage you to do things in a way that is comfortable for you, and that you think will benefit your users the most. So next question from CompuMagic, we have, is there a way to import a PDF into the editor? So yes. So the key thing with importing PDF documents is they need to be editable PDFs. You can make a custom PDF template, which we do have some options to tweak the default format if you go into app settings and miscellaneous. This is all stuff that can only be done in Guru mode. You can scroll down PDF report templates, and you can edit templates for the different data sources that you have saved here. So these are, of course, all different forms that are within the app. So, for instance, if you wanted to add a header, if you wanted to display a certain header on the first page or on subsequent pages, you could do the same thing with a footer if you wanted to put like your address or contact information, etc., in there. You can change the size of the page numbers, the size of the title, the color of the text, and for layouts, there's a few options. You can do 2 columns images at the left, 2 columns images at the right, which does kind of, I don't know, it makes the form look a little neater in my opinion. And then, if you were to change any of that, you just click Save. But there's other options as well. So we're going to go in. This is a link to a form, so you can go into the settings for this here by clicking the settings wheel. And so there's data sources here. So this is basically where all the information reports to. It's saving to a data source, which is basically just a Excel spreadsheet. That's how things are saved in the Snappy database. So if you were to go to data sources here, you'll see each form has its own data source, which shows the fields, things like that. So loader inspection, for instance, these are all the things people are going to be filling out in the app. So you can download this data. It'll give you a master spreadsheet. You can even manage auto reporting. If you're to do auto reporting, you could add a new report, have it send you, say you wanted a monthly report of all the data that was entered in the app. You can have it email you a neat little spreadsheet or PDF document that shows you all the information. So that's a nice way of automating that process. So I just want to kind of give you an idea of the how data is processed through the app. And then if we go back into the settings here, if you go to report comment settings, you can use a custom PDF template and you can upload a custom PDF. So the key thing here is that the fields will not be identified by the editor unless they are fillable PDF fields. So they can't just be, the type of PDF document where you might just print it out and have people fill that out for you. It has to be the type of editable PDF where if you were to pull it up in, say, Adobe, you could actually type into the fields. So that once you upload a template like that, it will display properly in the app, and the report output will be the same. So you can do the same thing with custom Excel templates as well, which is certainly a convenient option. All right, and let's see. Oh, not going to save that there. We're going to move on to the next question. I know we're getting a little tight on time here. I apologize. All right, do we have more questions? Sorry, I'm kind of new to using this PDF editor, or not PDF editor, the webinar software. So let's see, what else do we have? Look and feel, backgrounds. The last question, import PDF, so we got that. Okay, PDF into the format. Okay, so that's what we just covered. Looks great. So thank you for that, Sean. When you submit the forms, it's automatically sent to a specified email. So yes, so you can configure the app to automatically send, which it'll automatically by default send to the app creator, which if you were the one that created the Snappy account and built the app, then it would automatically send a copy to you. Another option, you can add a field where the user can type in any email address and send it to that email address instead. Let's see. Not sure if this one has it, but most people will just put it in at the end of the form, so when it's submitted. Sorry, I'm using the touchpad on my computer, and it's unfortunately just not a very convenient option. But I usually just use the wheel. So here you see the saved and send. You have email the report, so you can type in. The user can just type in an email address. It'll go to that email address and the email address of the app creator. And that can be done under settings here. So if you scroll down, add email addresses, one per line, you can send it to one or multiple email addresses, which this means every time the user hits submit, it's going to go to any email address that's in this list. Let's see. So I hope that addressed your question there, and we'll move to the next one here. Okay, I think I specified. All right, if I need a developer, you guys build for 110 per hour. So I mean, at this point, our pricing structure is kind of more of a deal where we assess the complexity of your app, and we can provide you with a quote based on how much work we think is involved, and of course that's highly dependent upon communication of requirements. So if we accurately understand your requirements, then we can give you an accurate quote. So I mean, we have a minimum. It's $1,000 for custom development, but most of the apps don't go well beyond that. I mean, unless it's something like real complex and you need to for instance, use like a JavaScript plugin or build connectors to external databases or websites, which we do via XML or JSON objects. Certainly get in touch with us about that. We can, nail down your requirements and get you a quote on that, Jonathan. Let's see. So moving forward to Corey here. Does the user have the ability to add information that will be stored in the app for them to view only, like personal notes? Yeah, we can certainly add that functionality. So what happens is we basically, for a field, you have the option to, here I'll just go into something real quick to kind of give you an idea. For instance, well, the seat field, I suppose. So we'll go into this, open its settings, and viewing conditions. So you can use viewing conditions to create a formula to enable or disable or show or hide the elements. So for instance, you'd actually have to have, I guess in this method, create different ones for everybody, a different field, but link it specifically to them. So if you were to click the form next to the formula field, there's all kinds of information about how to create the formulas. You can do like if user equals, so you can do it by username, which, is the easiest way. You can also do, if date and time. So for instance, say you wanted a field in a form to be disabled after 9 p.m., you can put in a formula here that will say, 2 time, hour minute, so that will make it so the app is disabled at that certain time or between certain times. So there's a bunch of different options here, and we offer all kinds of training too. So if you want to go with like the do-it-yourself option, we are more than happy to walk you through the process and teach you how to do this stuff. So we're a little limited on time, so I don't want to go too in depth into this. But to answer your question, it is possible. So all right, and let's see. All right, and Milind Kulkarni, I'm sorry if I said your name wrong there. Can you send email to multiple people from the form by providing email address? Yes, you certainly can. That's not a problem at all. And let's see. Okay, when running form, great. Sign up as a reseller. So, all right. So, Milind, I'll go ahead and send you I'll send you an email with some links, or I can even just show you here. I mean, it's actually relatively simple in terms of signing up for the reseller program. So we're going to just get out of this here, and anytime you want to see the full menu, show menu here, and if you go to the reseller link, or you can even just go to products pricing, which I recommend. Our pricing page is actually a little more updated than the reseller page. We're making some major overhauls on our website, so some things are getting updated here, and this is kind of just the most user-friendly option. It reflects the most up-to-date pricing. So you can go here, just click partner pricing, and then of course it's a free trial. You can build and sell your first app for free. You do have to become approved as a reseller, so we need to understand your business and your customer base, and how the relationship will be beneficial to both parties. So after working out those details, you can become an authorized partner, and we have plans starting. So $249 a month gives you 25 apps, and one actual good thing about this reseller page here, so you can build now, build free, buy now, build free, which build free gives you a free trial. You get a 14-day free trial. Buy now, of course, will link you to the PayPal page where you can make this payment here. And if you go to the reseller tab here, it actually does kind of outline some of the benefits of becoming a reseller. So it looks like actually this has been updated recently, so it looks good. I'm happy to see that. Sorry, I haven't quite been on this page too much recently. And the different plans here on the pricing page too, they do outline what's included. For instance, say you were to go with the $249 a month, you get 2 how-to support calls, which will explain to you how to perform a certain function, and you get 2 hours of training, which we split into 2 one-hour blocks, which is actually it's a good way to do it because it's a lot to digest sometimes. So you get that hour, we'll teach you some stuff. We usually have you come up with some questions first because we want to make the training as efficient as possible. So we will, address all of your questions and walk you through how to do stuff, share the screen, with a similar idea such as this webinar here. And so you also get, enhanced email and live chat support, which, we're available most hours a day. There's very few hours that we aren't available. I mean, if you look, I mean, we're just maybe 5 hours, of downtime throughout the day. So It's pretty good. And, first thing in the morning, if you send us an email, we'll get to that first thing in the morning, especially if, something needs immediate attention. So we're really good about that. Let's see, and you can build free, only pay when you publish. So you can build, dozens of apps, and only the ones that you publish will apply to this 25 apps. So it gives you a chance to build up some prototypes, things like that. Of course, if you become a gold partner, the package increases. You get a little extra training time. Same thing with platinum. I mean, I suppose that's really it there. Let's see. Well, let's go back here and see what else is there. Let's see. I don't know where my little window went here for the. I apologize. Like I said, I'm a little new to this GoToWebinar software here, so I apologize for that. All right. I mean, it looks like we may have went through all the questions here. I'm not seeing anything new on the list. Maybe I went through all of them. Well, I mean, I suppose that's it. So I guess we'll go ahead and wrap this up. Feel free to contact us if you have any additional questions beyond this point. And well, I thank you for attending today, and we look forward to hearing from you. So thank you all. I hope you have a great day.